on from that, I don't want to spend too much time on that because I came across this on a video. So Rudy Giuliani, ex-mayor of New York, has this YouTube channel. And as you can see, I can't say this on national television. Now, I want to point out that when I did research for this, I struggled to find anything but information on this. I was trying to find some information on the other side of the coin to counter, which is what I want to do. I want to see what their case is, and I want to see if what they're saying is true. And the only thing I found with the case that he's presenting is it's hard for me to find a lot of solid information in general, but I could find his court cases, what they're accusing, what they're asserting. But he's got his channel here. I'm going to play it.
And secretly, so every one of these ballots is illegitimate.
So it gets weird in a second.
Every one of them. Now, just to determine the number, when you look at this, and we're just going to show you excerpts of it. It's available on earlier podcasts in greater.
I have no problem with him having this channel to get his message across.
Watch the whole thing.
Oh, likewise.
It looks an awful lot like a bank heist, doesn't it? I mean, it looks like clearly.
It's going to get weird, though, and I think it gets weird.
We will take a short break, and we'll be right back. If you want a good cigar, go to a good cigar shop. You want the best, go to Famous Smoke Shop. Let Famous Smoke deliver your favorite cigars right to your doorstep at America's lowest prices. Famous opened in 1939 as a...
Is it weird that I find that weird?
It's fucking weird. So it should be more Rudy clickbait, Giuliani, because I can't say this on national television. I think you can. And I think that information, like you said, is probably out there. I think he's just promoting his YouTube channel, isn't he? And what's wrong with that? Power
Nothing.
to him. I think me and you are fans of the minimalists. And I think you were actually the first person to bring them to my radar a number of years ago now. And they've got a little saying in that is that, this episode is brought to you by nothing because advertising sucks. It's something along. I'm not a million miles off if I'm not right.
Yeah.
But advertising could be seen as discrediting the message that you're putting across. Ultimately what you try and do is get people to click on something. I can't say this on national television when you clearly can, and you can maybe found elsewhere. And by the way, whilst you are watching this clickbait title, buy some cigars so I get paid out for it. It's in very poor taste from him. He looks very disingenuous, looks selfish, and he's looking out for Rudy Giuliani more than anyone else. So it's his YouTube channel. He has the right to do whatever he wants. But from what he's portrayed there is someone that I wouldn't trust as far as I could throw.
It's a cringy product too. It's cringy in the sense that I smoke cigars. I have no problem with cigars, and I would probably find value in this advert at another time in another situation. But he's taking on the mantle of in his view overturning one of the greatest injustices in American history. But before I show you what's next, because the video is the next part, he dick teases you for 9 minutes before he then shows you the video. So he's got you sucked into the video. He's got you there for 9 minutes to see the video. And then he goes on to his famous smoke shop, which is targeted to rich, older white dudes. So all of those disenfranchised, white, middle, lower class people that are trying to jump on the Trump train and hope that he is going to retain his office now has to be subject to Rudy shilling the smoke shop on his channel, which he has every right to do. But from a messaging standpoint, I just think it's just, if this is where you want to deliver your message from, maybe don't do the advert on this one. Maybe wait for another one that's a bit more casual. Not, I'm going to give you this information that shows, wrongdoing in the election. This is my forum to share this. Oh, and stay tuned. I'm going to show you a quick ad. It just seems so weird.
I take it back. I'm not sure it's weird. I think it's disgusting. I think it's quite repulsive what he's doing. It's I don't think it's weird, and on YouTube land, it's what a lot of them do. Hey, check out the videos of this. What's happened next? But right after this, and you've got an advert. But it's so distasteful what he's doing there.
I think the other thing is it's so out of touch because he's, this whole case, they're trying to appeal to that sort of independent, middle of the road America. and this is advertising to a very select group of people, in my view, or at least the way that this is a luxury. This is an old dude luxury.
/ Rudy, let me get my cut.
But then it goes. I think I'd even be less begrudging of it if you put it at the end or if you put it after the video evidence. But the next thing that comes up is,
or just get out of the way with and let's get on with the show.
So here's the end of the video, and what's the first thing we see? He goes into the video evidence straight afterwards.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I was looking at this from a different perspective because I have my biases, and there's no doubt about it. The messages we get on the comments are very obviously anti us, and actually we get more dislikes now than we've ever gotten, which I like the engagement. I have no problem with dislikes. I'm actually a fan of the dislikes. And I don't know if you notice, I always pin the negative comments to the top of the video because I like them. I do. I think it's funny. But I've been trying to look at this. Okay, if I was delivering a message, I wanted to get my message across that there is wrongdoing in the election. I would be, questioning things that are a bit harder to disprove, but I wouldn't be, from a messaging perspective, I'd be trying to keep sort of my personal business affairs out of that whole spectrum. I wouldn't want to have any sort of advertising or anything that's associated to me when I'm trying to get a message across that I'm here to help the country, right or wrong. Hold fire. I'm going to then share an advert for cigars. Back to it. It's terrible. It's cringy.
Yeah. I don't need to see anything else in this guy. He's just shown all of his cards to me. He's just showing everything that's important. It's more important to him to make his Giuliani / Rudy 20% off, get his cut, than it is to try and have a legitimate message that may or may not help someone. It's for someone in his position and the message he's trying to pull across, I stand by it. It's disgusting. I don't care what side he's from. Like what you're trying to do here, you totally discredit yourself. You're a disgrace.
I just want to hear that transition again from like I'm a do-gooder for the country to selling cigars. I just want to hear what he goes from.
In greater length, if you feel the necessity to watch the whole thing, it looks an awful lot like a bank heist, doesn't it? I mean, it looks like clearly illegal activity. We will take a short break and we'll be right back.
Is he talking about his ad, or?
If you want a good cigar, go to a good cigar shop.
It's so bad.
You want the best.
It's so cringy.
Do what you want on your YouTube channel. It's like he's perfectly in his right. He's done nothing wrong from that end. But as a credible source of information for the general public, he's just whitewashed all of that. That's suppose my point and why I think it's disgusting. Because he's put his own needs in front of the needs of the public. But yeah, he can obviously do what he wants, but he's entitled to do that.
Could you imagine if during Whitewater, so Whitewater is I don't know if you're familiar with Whitewater or heard of that term. Nixon was going to be impeached before he resigned, and there was incriminating video that showed that I don't know the exact story, but there was incriminating video that ended up coming to light of wrongdoing. And could you imagine if they were going to show that video back in, like, I don't know if it was the 60s or the 70s, and they said, we're going to show you this video, but first stand by for an advertisement for Marlboro cigarettes. We'll be right back. Like the moon landing brought to you by, Chiquita bananas. It's
if the product doesn't help. That in itself is an odd one. Like if he was advertising some charity, I don't know, like join the army, or like there's an advert in it, there is some placement, but it's kind of a bit better, a bit more tasteful to the topic he's kind of talking about. It's just the kind of disgusting-y, kind of sleazy cigar luxury kind of, like you said, the rich white guy type of thing. It really dirties his message, unfortunately for him, but maybe it's more important that he makes a few quid than really how his message is interpreted.
Well, he definitely, he wouldn't have had the platform that he has right now without all of this election fraud business. I think if there is no election fraud business, he's not getting the 500,000 to 600,000. How many views has he gotten on this? I'm curious. So he's gotten close to 1 million views on this. So he's even getting ad revenue on this. He's not getting those views if he's not in the game. And
he's
somebody's
money on.
Yeah, and somebody's offered him tens of thousands of dollars to do a quick advert just before he shows the smoking gun evidence.
Yeah,
So-
I'm just saying, if he's a guy of real integrity, you don't do it then. You don't do that, but he's not a guy of integrity.
Yeah, it's just bad.
That's a fact. I don't give a shit. That's not subjective. I don't care what anyone says. You will not change my mind. The guy is a dishonest. He's selfish. He looks after himself. That's what I've seen.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to share that with you. It was one of those things
that was great.
It was one of the highlights of my week, I think, just to see that, because I was trying to watch it, and just to give you my perspective, I was trying to, and I don't know that viewers will believe me or not, but I genuinely try to give every piece of information I see the light of day. And I try to look at it from the perspective of somebody that doesn't have biases, and it's hard to do, and I'm not perfect at it, but that was my attempt. And when I was watching this, I sat through it. I got to the point, okay, great. He's about to show us something. And then to hear that music and that smoke shop advert, I was just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. This, like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I have to share this with you. This is just insane.
Yeah, that's a real diamond, mate. And I appreciate you finding that for me.
So shall we go on to the...